stench that spoke of months, if not years, of neglect. Authorities acted quickly, removing the children from the toxic environment and rushing them to safety. Mark and Sarah had always kept to themselves. Their trailer, with its perpetually drawn blinds and eerie silence, was a fixture in the park, but one that didn't pay much attention to. The couple rarely interacted with neighbors, and their reclusive lifestyle was simply accepted as a form of desert living. Neighbors, accustomed to respecting privacy, mistook the family's isolation for a desire to be left alone. No one suspected that behind those closed doors, a tragedy was quietly unfolding. The signs were subtle: an empty yard, the absence of children's laughter, a sense of unease that was easy to ignore in the bustling daily life. The family's withdrawal from community life allowed the neglect to go unnoticed for far too long. In a place where neighbors often kept to themselves, the warning signs slipped through the cracks, hidden by the desert's marshal air. The trailer's quiet, which meant that peace was in fact a mask for fear and deprivation. The silence that hung over the home was not tranquility, but a desperate attempt to hide the suffering within. When the truth finally emerged, the community's refuge, shocked neighbors gathered outside the trailer, struggling to comprehend how such a world of existence so close, hidden in plain sight. The police presence and new scrutiny underscored the gravity of what had been uncovered. The illusion was almost shattered, replaced by a sobering realization. Darkness can thrive behind even the most ordinary facades, and sometimes the greatest tragedies are those that go unseen until it's too late. Sometimes the smallest moments can set off a chain of events that changes lives forever. For one delivery driver, it was a routine stop at a quiet trailer park that would become his dwelling. As he approached the weather the sight lingered, gnawing at his conscience long after he returned his mail. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong inside. Trusting the instinct, the driver made the decision to halt the he described what he'd seen. The operator listened carefully, ensuring that no color would be saved. He was immediately defensive. His agitation cleared as he blocked the entrance and demanded to know The stench was so strong that officers instinctively covered their noses, exchanging orders. It was clear that whatever was inside could be ignored or left unchecked. After a tense standoff for the garbage was piled high in the corner, rotting food spilled across the floor, and the stench of The trailer's interior was a scene of utter decay. trash and filth piled high, moldy food left out, and carpets stained beyond recognition. The bathroom was unusable, with stagnant water and a clogged toilet. No running water meant hazardous, primitive living conditions. Windows were blocked, plunging the home into darkness. There were no toys, books, just bleak emptiness. The kitchen revealed chronic hunger, a fridge with rotting vegetables, bare cupboards. Medical exams later confirmed the children's malnutrition. The home was a cage, stripping away any sense of safety or care. It was a place of starvation, both physical and emotional. The children were found huddled in a back bedroom, malnourished and silent. Their eyes reflected fear and resignation, their bodies thin and dirty. Medical staff later confirmed severe malnutrition and untreated health issues. The oldest, just 10, had become the protector, forced to grow up too soon. The youngest was nearly nonverbal, the middle child clinging to a tattered stuffed animal. Years of neglect had left them withdrawn, wary of adults. Social cues gently coaxed them from darkness into daylight. Wrapped in clean blankets, they left the trailer without looking back. Their rescue marked the end of one ordeal. The scars of neglect would take far longer to heal. News of the arrest spread quickly, shattering the community's sense of trust. Neighbors, shocked and guilt-ridden, struggled to reconcile the quiet family with the horror inside their trailer. Many realized they'd missed subtle warning signs, blaming themselves for not intervening. The trailer became a grim landmark, a symbol of collective oversight. Anger turned toward Mark and Sarah, with residents demanding justice. Yet compassion for the children surged. Donations of clothes, toys, and money poured in. The community's support was heartfelt but tinged with regret. They tried to offer the care the children had always deserved. The tragedy forced everyone to question how well they truly knew their neighbors. Child neglect is often invisible, thriving in silence and ambiguity. It hides in plain sight, masked by the everyday hustle and bustle of life. The signs are subtle, often mistaken for mere quirks or the result of a busy lifestyle. But beneath the surface, a darker reality exists. Mark and Sarah's isolation masked the suffering within their home. Their trailer, with its closed curtains and isolated stance, was a fortress of secrets. Neighbors saw them as a quiet family, keeping to themselves. But this solitude was a veil for the turmoil inside. The children's absence from play and school should have raised alarms. An empty swing set, a vacant bus stop, and a playground devoid of laughter were all silent cries for help. These were not just signs of a busy family, but indicators of a deeper issue. Chronic absenteeism was excused away, missed by teachers and neighbors alike. Teachers, overwhelmed with their duties, often attributed it to illness or family issues. Neighbors, preoccupied with their lives, failed to notice the patterns. The signs were there, but they were overlooked. The trailer's neglected exterior mirrored the chaos inside, but poverty and neglect are easily confused. Peeling paint, a rusted mailbox, and an overgrown yard were seen as signs of financial struggle, not as red flags for neglect. The line between hardship and harm is often blurred. Social reluctance to interfere allowed the abuse to continue unchecked. People passed by, glancing but not engaging, fearing the repercussions of getting involved. The fear of being wrong or labeled a busybody kept them silent, allowing the neglect to persist. People fear being wrong or labeled a busybody, so they stay silent. This hesitation, this fear of judgment, creates a barrier to intervention. It's easier to look away, to ignore the signs, than to confront the uncomfortable truth. Neglect hides behind privacy, but it's everyone's responsibility to notice and act. Closed doors and privacy signs should not deter us from our duty to protect the vulnerable. It's a collective responsibility to break the silence and take action. The delivery driver's call broke the silence, proving one person's concern can make all the difference. A simple act of noticing and reporting can be the catalyst for change. It shows that vigilance and courage can disrupt the cycle of neglect. Protecting children requires vigilance from the whole community. It's not just the responsibility of parents or teachers, but of every individual in the community. Open communication, awareness, and collective action are key to safeguarding our children. Trusting your instincts and reporting concerns can save lives. If something feels off, it probably is. Acting on that instinct, making a call, or filing a report can be the difference between life and death for a child in need. The wall of silence must be broken for neglect to end. It's a collective effort requiring each of us to be vigilant, to care, and to act. Only then can we hope to uncover and address the hidden suffering of neglected children. Mark and Sarah faced multiple felony charges, including child neglect and aggravated assault. Unable to post bail, they remained in custody as the legal process began. The prosecution's case relied on overwhelming evidence officers' reports, body cam footage, and medical records. Mark was defiant in court, Sarah withdrawn and emotional. Their defense cited poverty and mental health, but the prosecution argued the outcome was inexcusable. The community watched, hoping for justice and accountability. The slow court process was necessary to ensure a thorough, fair outcome. The case became a statement. Child neglect would not go unpunished. The children's rescue was just the beginning